What did you just get? You just got it saying Kamala Harris's camp is not responding?
Yeah, apparently Kamala Harris's headquarters is no longer responding to the news and giving statements right now, so they are feeling a bit glum over at the Kamala HQ. Not what we're getting. Not what we're getting in this room, so.
Absolutely amazing. You gotta love Candace Owens, right? Because she knows how to push those buttons. And after everything that has been said, it's very clear that the propaganda just did not work. The lies, the gaslighting. Guys, there's a lot of talk about the meltdown that's happening right now with mainstream media because they cannot believe that Donald Trump won. Something that isn't surprising for a lot of Americans, though, given that a lot of us actually understood that President Joe Biden, he had a much better chance than Kamala Harris did. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Joe Biden actually had a better chance of winning the presidential elections for the Democrats? Or do you think Kamala Harris was their best option? Y'all let me know. But I want you guys to look at how surprised Jake Tapper is from CNN as to how awful she did compared to President Joe Biden in 2020. Watch.
So you asked, are there any places that the vice president is overperforming Joe Biden in 2020? So we could show you that as well. We just bring that out here. Harris overperforming in 2020.
Holy smokes.
There you go. So let this go away and see if there's anything on the east side there.
Literally nothing?
Literally nothing.
Literally not one county?
He said, holy smokes, literally not one county. I think a lot of people saw this coming from a mile away. Did you guys see this? Because instead of focusing on voters, they focused their anger and all their hatred for Donald Trump. A complete screw up, in my opinion. Completely different from what his vice president, J.D. Vance, is talking about, right? Now, I'm going to go ahead and play his message to all Americans later, but I want to show you guys just how quickly the Democratic Party is willing to throw each other under the bus, okay? Now, first of all, they've already thrown their voters under the bus. You saw what Kamala Harris did. She just completely disappeared, didn't even give like a concession speech, just abandoned all of the millions of voters and supporters that actually supported her silly self. Just turned her back on them. So just think about that kind of person, that kind of individual as a potential presidential candidate. The moment it looks like you might face some challenges, you turn your back on your support, on your voters. Like, that is not someone you want leading the country. Now, we figured out that President Joe Biden wasn't too happy with the coup that happened in this presidential race. In fact, with him doing a lot of counter programming to Kamala, that made her position even worse as time went on. In fact, Joe Biden actually wore a MAGA hat in Pennsylvania. Now, I want you guys to look at who they're blaming for this loss. Watch.
Jen, has the conversation begun yet about Joe Biden and about the decision to ask him to step aside?
It will begin. It will begin depending on the outcome. Sure. And obviously, there hasn't been a race called yet. If this is not a Harris win, that will certainly be part of the discussion. It is. She's run a campaign over the course of 107 days. That is not something we've seen in history. And there'll be lots of questions about exactly that, the timing and the impact of that.
Well, Chuck was bringing up the history. I mean, in terms of vice presidents trying to win the presidency with a unpopular president, he said it's bordering on politically impossible.
Wow, this is unbelievable, guys. Just to watch this freaking soap opera. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess they should have thought about having a primary after he stepped down. How about that, you know? But let's be real here, guys. Mainstream media was fully aware that President Joe Biden was not mentally capable of leading our country, okay? Yet, they all followed the narrative and argued that he was the best person for the job. But, I mean, they can only hide so much. The truth always finds a way to reveal itself to the people, which makes their decision to place Kamala Harris as the replacement all that much more questionable. And so they had their pick of pretty much any single person within their party. And they picked the worst option after President Joe Biden, a president who they're now blaming for this loss. Unbelievable. I almost feel sorry for the old guy, which kind of brings me to talk about Senator J.D. Vance, right? Now, note that this particular interview, it happened before their win, meaning that he wasn't even sure at the time if they're going to beat out Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. But here was his message to the entire country if ever they won. Watch.
Well, look, Look, I think our message is, first of all, we do expect to win, but obviously no matter who wins, half the country, as you said, is going to be at least partially disappointed. I think my attitude is the best way to heal the rift in the country is to try to govern the country as well as we can, create as much prosperity as we can for the American people, and remind our fellow Americans that we are all fundamentally on the same team, however we voted. I certainly hope you vote for Donald J. Trump today. I think that his policies are going to promote peace and prosperity for our citizens. But if you vote the wrong way, in my view, I'm still going to love you. I'm still going to treat you as a fellow citizen. And if I am lucky enough to be your vice president, I'm going to fight hard for your dreams and for your family over the next 4 years.
Wow. You heard it, guys. That was a message of love and unity. This is our vice president for the next 4 years, guys. Do any of you think that he's an upgrade to Kamala Harris? Now, speaking of which, it looks like neither the president nor the vice president has reached out to Donald Trump after his win. I can almost feel how salty they have to be feeling right now. They're mad, they're angry. Now, this could have all changed by now, of course, you know, but this is Trump's 2024 National Press Secretary, Carolyn Leavitt's take on this. Watch.
We heard a lot about democracy and preserving democracy. So 2 questions. First of all, have you guys heard from Kamala Harris to concede? And also, since it's time we should do this quickly, to transition to power, have we heard from Joe Biden to congratulate the president-elect?
Well, the last time I spoke to President Trump, and it was just a few hours ago in the wee hours of the morning, we haven't got much sleep. Neither of those people, Joe Biden nor Kamala Harris, had reached out to him. That could have changed very early this morning. I would be unaware of it. But you bring up democracy, Lawrence, and as we saw some of the exit polls from other networks last night, democracy appeared to be the #1 issue for voters. It's clear that the American people believe President Trump is the best candidate to preserve our democracy. And it shows the Democrats' message in these final weeks of the campaign that he's this alleged threat to democracy just didn't work in the eyes of the American people. They are smart enough to see through these lies, and they remembered how much better their lives were under President Trump's leadership.
Wow. Now, again, guys, all of this could theoretically have changed at the time that I go ahead and release this video. But what hasn't changed, though, is Donald Trump, okay? Now, as far as we've been informed, he didn't prepare a speech if ever he won. He didn't want to jinx himself. Apparently, Donald Trump is pretty superstitious. But this is just part of his message after being hailed as the 47th president of our country. Watch.
Yes, I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president and your 45th president. And every citizen, I will fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day, I will be fighting for you, and with every breath in my body, I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve. This will truly be the golden age of America. That's what we have to have. This is a magnificent victory for the American people that will allow us to make America great again.
Wow, guys. Now, for a campaign that was said to be dividing our country, both Donald Trump and JD Vance, they seem to be calling for unity. That's what I'm hearing, at least. So we're going to have to see how all of this plays out. But what are you guys' thoughts on all this? I mean, seriously, like, now, if you missed the exciting play-by-play of this entire election, guys, you are in luck. I covered this in a recent live stream, and you tell me, things got intense. That's all I can say. But if you haven't checked it out, do so. Click the channel, click on the live tab, check out that video under the live stream. Make sure you guys watch that video after this one. As always, thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for hitting the like button and subscribing. I'll see you guys next time.